On surface area of prisms. A rectangular prism is a three-dimensional shape with ends that are congruent rectangles and sides that are parallelograms. You can also have prisms that are triangular prisms. In that case, your ends, instead of being a congruent rectangles, would be congruent triangles. So they'd be triangles of the same size. When we are doing and calculating surface area of prisms or of any object, we're going to sometimes have to have what we call a net drawing. And the net drawing is you're taking your three-dimensional shape and you're cutting it into pieces so it makes it a two-dimensional shape. All right, some of our shapes are going to be made up of more than one shape, and that's fine. We just cut apart the different pieces and add them all together at the end. So let's take a look at an example here. Example number 1 says, find the surface area of this prism. So this prism here is what we call a triangular prism because it has triangular sides, or the shape other than the rectangle in this shape is a triangle. So we're going to first start by drawing a net drawing of this shape, and a net drawing of this shape is going to look something like this. So we're going to take, and we have a base here. This bottom part here is a it is a rectangle. So we're going to draw a rectangle. We're then going to pretend that we're taking this part right here and we're cutting it so that the two sides are gonna fall down. So we have two more rectangles, one here, one here. Now if I cut apart that top part, these sides here are also gonna fall down. So I have a triangle here and a triangle here. Now when we're doing this, we also want to be labeling what our dimensions are for it, because it makes it a lot easier for us to calculate area when we have the dimensions. So this part here in red is all going to be 96.5 centimeters. Now the part that is going to be in green is all 15.2. That includes the sides of our triangle as well. They're 15.2 as well. Now the height of my triangle is given to me as 13.2. So now that we have our net drawing, we can go and we can talk about what we have in regards to shapes. So I have 3 shapes here. I have one shape right here, one here, and one here, and they're all the same. They're all rectangles. They all have the same length and width. So that means that I now have an area that can be equal to 3 times the area of a rectangle, which is length times width. And I can add to that the area of these 2 shapes here, my 2 triangles. So the area of a triangle, so I have 2 of them, and the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Now, because I have base times height divided by 2 and I'm also multiplying by 2, my 2's are actually going to cancel each other out. So now I'm left with 3 times the length, which we said was 96.5, times the width, which was 15.2 of my rectangles, plus my base, which was 15.2, times my height, which was 13.2. Now, if I take all of those and I multiply them all together, I have 3 times 96.5 times 15.2. I get 4,400.4 plus 15.2 times 13.2 is going to give me 200.64. And if I add those 2 together, I get a total surface area of 4,601.04. And this here, we have to not forget our units. It's going to be centimeters squared. So surface area or area always has square units. Please do not forget them. They are super, super important. If you do not have your units, you will be docked marks.